Today is Sarah's actual driving test, her real test, and she's been kind enough to share with you her result, even though that does put you under a little bit more pressure, doesn't it?
Just a little.
But before she goes to test, she's going to show you her level of driving, because she's at a high level of driving for a learner at the moment. If she took 10 tests, I think she'd pass 8 or 9 of them. And it's hard to get a pupil more prepared than that. So in showing you how she's driving, that's going to give you an idea of what level of driving you need to be at before you're going to have a high chance of passing. Also, I'm going to give her some advice to help her deal with driving test nerves. So that's going to be advice for you as well, as you'll be able to listen in. So, are you ready?
Yes.
Let's go. Nice approach speed to the queue of cars. No harsh braking. Good control of the car. Didn't go down the gears, didn't lift the clutch up between the gears, but you don't have to do that. As long as you slow down safely with good control. Try using neutral if you're waiting.
Okay. And do I leave this? I'd leave that open until I know I could go.
Leave the, yeah, absolutely. Leave a clear pathway clear.
Okay.
So if it's a clear pathway for someone, don't block it. You know that. You're asking the question to be sure, but you know that.
Yeah.
Trust yourself, trust what you know. So at the mini roundabout, left please. Good speed on approach, you're ready to wait. No harsh braking, you're in a gear so you're ready to go. Missed a shield.
Yeah.
But you got the next one. First shield of the day. I'll let you off that one. If you miss a shield, don't worry, it's not a fail. If you keep missing shields all the time, then you may not pass.
Okay.
Mini roundabout right. Nice slowing down. Again, no harsh braking. You're in a gear, ready to go, but you're at a speed where you're ready to stop without having to slam on the brakes. You weren't spooked by the oncoming cars at that mini roundabout, which is what happens to a lot of new drivers, because you're turning across the path of oncoming traffic, which is unusual. You wouldn't do it now, would you? But you do it mini roundabouts. But you've learnt well enough that you got used to doing that, so you took your opportunity. Making the most of the speed limit when it's safe to do so, and you have a fairly good position. It's a little bit right at the moment, but I'm being fussy. It's absolutely fine. At the mini roundabout left. So mirror signal, slowing down, ready to stop. Gear is ready, and you're taking the shields. Very good, and that was downhill, which makes it harder to slow down. It may not have looked like a hill on video, but the camera is brilliant at flattening out the earth. It makes everything look flat, takes away the hills. I filmed the steepest street in England, and people were commenting saying, that's not very steep, there's a steeper street in London. No, there isn't. This was steep. You could tell by the stairs on the pavement. It needed stairs, and my car was wheel spinning trying to get up it. Also, I fell over when I was filming it. If you want a link to that video, I'll leave it up there. Roundabout, we're going right, third exit. Again, nice slowing down, gear is prepared for going, and you've chosen now first gear as you've had to go slower. That's good. You started off jogging and then you went to a walk. Good position here as well. As it was 2 lanes, you left space for the car next to me, and good mirror check as you leave the roundabout in the left lane, because you should be assuming you're going ahead unless we say left or right, and usually it is the left lane for going ahead if there's no road signs or markings. Now go towards all other routes on the sign, please. Nice, smooth slowing down. I'm very comfortable here. Your gear's ready, your clutch is up, ready to go at the line. And now, good signal timing. Now I'm going to make your life a little bit harder.
Okay.
We're going to need the right lane at some point. So how are you going to deal with this? There was an opportunity there, wasn't there?
Yeah.
What you can't do is sit here and hold people up.
I don't know how to get in the lane.
If you got to your queue here, you could then ask.
Okay.
Or if there's a gap, you can see if you can take it. But it doesn't look like you've got an opportunity, does it? So my advice is not to try and change lane now, because you'd sit here and you hold up traffic behind you, and you shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
So you're just going to have to stay in this lane. It's going ahead, second exit, and we'll have to go a different way. Did you know you had an exit here, or you're going to block the...
I thought I'd be able to wait.
Good, as long as you're thinking. There we go. Signal wasn't 100% needed there, but it's fine to use it. Clear you had to leave. And we're going left at the mini roundabout, ahead, then right. It's 3 mini roundabouts, left, ahead, right. Because we're in this lane, we're going to have to go the longer way around and use more mini roundabouts. The right lane there was very blocked. It's unusual to see it that blocked, which is why examiners usually wait until that road to ask you to go into the right lane, because they want to see how you deal with a lane change. I would usually get it earlier than that, but they usually wait for that road to tell you. And if you can't go, you can't go. So just stay in your lane, but don't hold up traffic. So you're going left at this mini roundabout, ahead at the second, and then right at the third. Very good, nice observations. Good, choosing a good lane to help you go right at the third. Good opportunity. So we're going right at this next mini roundabout and then left at the one after that. So now it's right then left. So right at this mini roundabout and left at the next one. Very good. No exit, is there? That mini's in the way. And I think it's because of those traffic lights up there which held some people up.
This one's right. What was the next one?
Left.
Left.
Towards those green traffic lights up there. Little bit late to go there. That may be a minor on a test, because the car stopped coming and you could go, but you took a little while to get going. And I'd indicate left. I'd indicate left on that roundabout as you leave for the next one, because they're so close together. You want to be ready. But you did indicate, and that wouldn't be a mark on a test. This is my advice. However, your delay for moving away at that mini roundabout when no one was coming, that may be a minor mark.
Okay.
They mark it as undue hesitation, which I don't like. I don't like that word, because it's good if you're not sure, hesitate. Don't be afraid to hesitate. That keeps you safe.
Yeah.
Don't think, I'm not sure, I'm just going to go. That's bad. It should really be just like late opportunity or missed opportunity or something like that. That's what they should mark it as, and not make you feel hasty, like you've got to jump when you're not sure. I haven't told Sarah where to go, and she won't be told where to go here on the driving test, because she should go ahead unless she's told to go left or right. And at mini roundabouts, if you're not told what to do, you should go ahead. However, at normal roundabouts, the examiner will give you a direction, even if you're going straight, unless you're following the sat-nav or you're following signs. Pull up before this grey car, please. Try and finish a car length from the grey vehicle. So keep going forwards, keep going, a little bit closer. Keep going, and that'll do there. Thank you. Move away when you're ready, please. This is the angle start. You'll have to do this on your driving test. Talking to them, not you, by the way.
Oh, okay.
So Sarah's doing a handbrake start. It is slightly uphill here, so that's wise. She's keeping it slow. She's maintaining her observations. Very good control of the car. She managed to do that slowly. She wasn't shooting forwards and having to rush her steering. She kept the car in good control and safely steered around the object, which is what she needs to be able to do. How you control the car, that's flexible. There's no set way you have to control the car. So do you go down the gears as you're slowing down, or do you just slow down and push the clutch down when the revs get low? Well, that's up to you. As long as the car slows down in a smooth way, you're not braking harshly, and you're at an appropriate speed and you have power when you want it, then it should be fine. Very good. Good use of that space there with the oncoming car, well timed. Just make sure you are checking your centre left mirror before you move back. I weren't sure if you did it back there. I wasn't looking at you all the time. But especially at the end of road right. Especially at this speed, you've got cyclists that can easily catch up with you. Well done for leaving the road clear there, because someone might want to use that.
Yeah.
Aha, here we go, look at that.
If I'd have blocked it on a test, would that be a minor? Because they wanted to go in.
Whether or not it's a minor or a serious depends on how serious it becomes. And that's the thing, there's a lot of luck in it. So if you caused a serious issue, then it could be a serious. If you caused a minor issue, then it's likely only going to be a minor, or what they call a driving fault. They don't like saying minor. At the moment though, I think there is plenty of space to get past.
I didn't think we were allowed on those zigzags.
Aha, they're for parking, not for traffic.
Oh, okay.
So that's where the error was there. Yeah, so no waiting. Waiting's not the same as being in traffic.
Okay.
Like, for example, there could be a bus stop painted here. You shouldn't stop on the bus stop and wait there. But if you're in traffic, you can be on the bus stop like we have now, this bus stop on the left.
Okay.
Don't try to leave it clear, there's no point, because if the bus is behind you, they still can't get to it, can they? It doesn't help anyone. So think about who you're helping. Good caution to the left there, because you couldn't see very well. And well done for stopping at the zebra crossing. You got this. And you should wait until they clear the crossing before you go. Which you did. You sort of started to get your gas and bike point ready before they had finished, but you didn't enter the area until they had finished crossing. Whether or not that's a legal requirement, well, that's debated all the time. But do it just in case. The Black Belt Barrister did a video about whether or not it's a legal requirement to have to wait until someone's completely finished crossing the road. That is his interpretation of the law, which is a good one because, well, he's a lawyer. I'll leave a link to that video up there if I can find it. Okay, my signal for stopping will be, I'll put my hand out and say stop. Only do the emergency stop if I put my hand out and say stop. On your driving test, they will pull you over at the side of the road and give you a briefing before they ask you to do it. They're not just going to spring it on you at some point during the drive.
Okay.
And you may see us look behind to make sure it's safe first. Don't do the stop unless I put my hand out and say stop.
Okay.
Stop. Very good. Slippery today, isn't it?
Yeah.
That took quite a long time, but you had the ABS going. I won't ask you that again. Very good. Move away when you're ready, please. Good reaction and good pressure on the brake. And good observations before moving away. That would definitely be a pass. No faults there at all. You should check both blind spots before moving away after the emergency stop, because you're not at the side of the road. And I'd like to take the next road on the right where all these cars are coming out of. Nice slowing down. Prepare preparing the car, preparing the gear, and clutch is just at the bite point before you turn. I would have rather you had that bite point ready a bit earlier. As an inexperienced driver, it just means you've got better control. Don't really want to be trying to find the bite point as you're crossing the path of traffic. You want to do that before if you can, although that wouldn't be marked on test if you had good control. If you were to go slowly across the path of traffic, then it may be. And if you were to stall, then it certainly would be. So what's the speed limit on this road?
60.
Okay, you are correct. Nice speed, good speed on the straight here, good distance from the side. Getting a bit slower now that you're close to the side, that feels safe, that feels comfortable, and then progressing again when there is room. Lovely speed there. Bit hard with this sun flickering in our faces. And good speed there as well. That was quite comfortable. I would say probably second gear would be better there. Maybe I'd go a bit slower at your level, because if something comes, you haven't got much time to deal with it. It's quite blind. But it felt safe. Certainly shouldn't be marked on the test. It's just my advice, because that's a really sharp bend. You quite often get tractors coming the other way. So far, I think you should be passing this. Thinking about it, aren't you?
Do I move over?
Go on then.
Okay.
You trust yourself. You know the answer. Why are you questioning yourself?
I don't know.
This is a dual carriageway, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what lane should you be in unless you're overtaking?
The left.
Exactly. So you know that. That's why you were thinking about it. But you're doubting yourself. You know what to do. Listen to what you think you need to do, because what's really happening there is just you're afraid to make an error, so you're afraid to do something. And I would like you just to stay slow for a little bit, because I want to try and get you to do a parking exercise if we get one. Okay, see this gap here?
Mm-hmm.
Could you reverse park into this gap on the left? Didn't see you check your mirrors before pulling over.
I don't remember if I did.
Okay, make sure you do. Because if there's anyone behind you, there's signal to warn them that you're pulling over. That could be a fail.
Check,
you did check?
I was gonna see.
All right. I didn't see, so that's why I said. Carry on doing what you're doing.
Okay.
But I thought I'd mention it just in case.
Yeah.
But if there's a car behind you and you pull over without signalling, that can easily be a fail.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen that be a fail many times. Not many times, but they don't usually let you get away with it. Depends how close the car is behind you. See this black car when you stop for them?
Yeah.
But you're actually helping them at the moment, aren't you?
Okay.
You're getting out of their way, aren't you?
I'll finish, and then can I explain why I
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Hit the cup.
So you've hit the curb with the rear left wheel, haven't you? You realised that.
Yeah.
And now what are you going to do?
I'm gonna just go.
Don't tell me, show me.
Okay.
So you've gone forwards away from the curb. So you've basically undone a bit of your reverse, haven't you? You've gone back where you come from, and this time you've put your steering on a bit earlier. Although it's still a bit late.
Would I go back out or do I just go forward?
At this stage, your examiner is probably likely to say that will do there.
Okay.
Because you spent enough time on it. They don't give you an unlimited time. Thank you. But it would be a pass.
Okay.
So we've just practiced the reverse park a little bit, because although that would be a pass, it's not ideal. You did finish with your wheels sticking out and you did touch the curb twice. So we've had one practice go and that went a lot better. Also, I've re-clarified when to give way to vehicles, because Sarah asked, should I not stop? Well, you should stop. If you're not sure, stop, absolutely. What I'm saying is, just to clarify, is that you shouldn't be sitting there waiting for traffic to pass when you're not affecting them, because that can also lead to a fail if it's taking you too long to do the manoeuvre when you're waiting for cars you don't need to wait for. You need to be aware of traffic around you, and you need to give way if you are getting in their way. But if you can see that what I'm doing at the moment is not affecting them, I've seen them, I've made the decision that I can continue, then continue. Don't just wait there for it to be clear completely, because depending on how busy it is, you could be waiting a long time. So, do you want to show them another go?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, come back before you go out, make it a bit easier for yourself, and let's do it again.
Okay.
Quite a quiet engine, but it's not that quiet. Engines have been quiet for ages now, though, to be fair. I think it's about 2003-ish, maybe a bit before then, suddenly this engine's got so quiet at idle. Before then, in the 90s, you usually heard the engine running. That's good, you come back, good observations, you get in the front of the car out, and the mistake you made earlier is you didn't allow the back to come out, so you end up really close to the car. Now you've allowed the back to come out as well, so you've gone out into the road a bit more, so a reasonable distance from the car, not too close. Again, excellent control of the vehicle, keeping the car slow, it's not nearly stalling, and it's not shooting forwards. It's a good median, if that's the right word. Medium power. Currently she's choosing her angle at which to go into the space. She's thinking a bit more. Nope, this is what she's chosen. My judgment says this is about right. Could be a bit more, could be a bit less as well, so it's all right. And now the one you're struggling with is how close to get to the curb. What I advise you do is get a better view, and that'll help you judge it better. Although I think you've done well, I think you're going to be okay. Good observations. So now if a car's coming, make sure you notice it. But do you need to wait for them if they're passing you?
No.
But you need to notice it in case it's coming up behind you. It might stop and park behind you. So you need to be aware of them, but only wait if you need to. Okay, are you finished?
Yeah.
You're hesitant. Why are you hesitant?
I think the back's further away than the front.
And that was because what you did there, as far as I could judge, you actually came in really nice, but when the car was getting straight, you went a bit further than straight, and then straight in the wheel, and then you roll back slightly as well, and you could have just stopped when you were at the straight. So do you know how to judge? To be fair to you, in the mirror it looks straight, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And I think what's going on here actually, so this is not your judgment, I think this is because we're on a slight curve.
Okay.
And as a result, for me it looks like we've done it a bit late, but looking at the mirror, you've made that straight with the curb. You are a little bit far, but well within the standard.
Okay.
That should easily be a pass. That's really good. That should not be a fault at all.
Okay.
So Sarah's driving is at a standard where she should be passing the driving test. I have a lot of confidence that she will pass. She put 1 foot, well, when I say 1 foot wrong, yeah, she did some minor things, but 1 major foot wrong today, which would be a serious on a driving test. But this was before I turned the cameras on in a car park where she was reversing backwards, and she just got a bit close to the wall behind before she stopped, and she worried me, and I nearly went for the dual control. And if you're making your examiner go for the dual controls, then you're probably going to fail, because you started coming back a bit quick and there was a wall behind you, wasn't there, and you stopped just in time. So what made you do that error, do you think?
The wall was pointed, so the bit that we were coming close to was the corner.
To be aware. Sorry, I'm interrupting you, aren't I?
Okay.
Do you want to finish?
Well, the parts I could see when I was doing my observation were further away, so I guess I need to do more observation because it was a point.
Sarah talks quite quietly, so I'm a bit afraid that you might not hear her on camera, which is why I feel like I need to sort of explain. But basically, there was a wall behind us like this, a corner of a building. So in the left wing mirror, the wall looked further away, and the right wing mirror, the wall looked further away as well. But the corner of the building behind us was getting close quickly. So make sure you're aware of completely around at the back, not just your mirrors as you go back. So that's a lesson. Yeah. Now we're going to talk about test nerves. Do you feel nervous?
Yes.
That's normal. Now, why are you nervous? Just try and talk loudly so we can hear you.
I'm not sure, because I know I can do it. I've just proven I can do it. I guess I'm more worried about the unknown of what other things could be happening and how I would react to those. But
it's very important to be in the moment.
Okay.
So if you're at a mini roundabout, don't be thinking about your manoeuvre. Don't be thinking about 2 mini roundabouts up the road. Deal with that mini roundabout. Okay, sometimes you need to be thinking ahead if you're thinking about what lane you need. You might be, well, if I go right in this lane, that'll help me go right at the next mini roundabout. But try to deal with what you're dealing with as you're dealing with it. Okay. Really try to do that, because once you start thinking too far ahead, you're not focusing on the current situation, and that's going to lead to problems.
Okay.
I think probably the best thing you can do to help you is to understand that it doesn't matter how prepared you get, you can still fail. I could still fail a driving test. And what you need to do, in my opinion, is accept that you may fail, accept that you can do the test again, understand that you've already done all the preparation. So if for whatever reason you don't pass this driving test, you will pass. Okay. You've done it. You've done the work. Yeah. You're ready. If you don't pass today, you'll pass in a couple of weeks probably. Something that's taking away some of the pressure is the fact you didn't book this test 6 months ago, did you?
No.
No. The way I do things with my pupils is they get ready, then they book their test. Did you find it hard to find a test?
At the beginning, yes. And then I found one and then was able to bring it forward. Yep. So overall, it wasn't too difficult. You just have to keep checking. That's correct, yeah.
I've not had a pupil who has not been able to find a test at around about the time they've wanted one so far. Even when we had an even worse backlog, because what the long backlog does is it actually creates even more cancellations as people are booking tests for the sake of booking them because they're afraid they're not going to get one, so they then cancel them when they don't do them. So even though the waiting list is longer than it's ever been, in my experience in these last couple of years, cancellations have been, in my experience, getting easier to get. And when I passed my driving test, I did the exact same thing. There was a 3-month waiting list at the time, so not as bad as it is now, but I got my test via cancellations. But that's taken away the pressure, because you're not thinking, oh no, if I fail this, I've got to wait another 6 months. You will find one, and the harder you look, the quicker you find them. I have pupils who go home and they tell me the same day they found the one around about the time they want, because they're checking every 15 minutes. Now that's a bit unfeasible for most people, but check as often as you can, you will find them. We don't need this long waiting list. This is panic buying. It's like toilet paper from a few years ago. If people only booked their tests when they needed them, we shouldn't have this list. At least that's what the DVSA is saying. And looking at numbers, I don't think they're wrong. It's a hoarding of the tests that's the issue, and apparently the robots booking them and hoarding them as well. Another thing is, don't rush.
Okay.
Take your time. At a junction, go when you think it's safe. Don't be second guessing yourself. You have to believe in yourself. Do you remember when we were in the right lane of that dual carriageway and the roadworks went and you started hovering over the signal and you started second guessing yourself? What made you second guess yourself there?
I guess I just didn't want to do it wrong. I guess that's the only thing I could think of.
That's exactly what I mean. I don't want to do it wrong, so I don't do it. Or I don't want to pull out in front of that car, so I don't go.
Yeah.
Or I don't want to be hesitant, so I don't go.
Yeah.
Sorry, did I got that? I did the same thing, didn't I? I don't want to be hesitant, so I don't go. Oh, no, I got it the wrong way around. I don't want to pull out in front of the car, so I don't go, or I don't want to be hesitant, so I go when it's unsafe. That's what I was trying to spit out. I was trying to get the... So just do it when you think it's safe. Go when you think it's good. Don't be thinking, do they want me to go? Do they want me to wait? Go on your own judgment. You can do this. You've shown me you can do it. You know you can do it, and you can probably drive better than you were today anyway, because you are feeling a bit more nervous today. And your manoeuvre, you did manoeuvre brilliantly last week, that parallel park. Not so well today, which is why we practice it a bit, and hopefully that's going to give you a little bit more chance of getting that right as it's more fresh in your mind. Is there anything else I want to mention? Let me just have a look. Oh yeah, a couple of things. If you feel you've made a mistake, carry on.
Okay.
There's plenty of times people are going to feel like during their test that they've done something wrong, and if you let that get to you, then you probably will drive badly. It may not be even a minor mark. Just keep going, pretend it never happened, move forwards, think forwards.
Okay.
And the other one I want to mention is don't be afraid to do an adjustment during your parking. I've been training you to do that anyway. It's more important to learn how to adjust your parking, in my opinion, than how to get it in one.
Yeah.
I've been driving for 20 years and I still adjust my parking most times. Most time I parallel park, most of the time I do it, I don't do it in one slick movement. I sort of pull in and I pull forwards and I go back a bit and straighten it up. It's normal. That's normal parking. As long as you do it in a reasonable time, that should be fine.
Okay.
They say, how can I say this? On the guidance for the examiners, it's too many attempts. Too many movements is the word they use. So they may give you a series for too many movements, but there's no definition of how many movements you can do. And I do find the better your driving is on the road, again, in my experience, the more time they give you.
Okay.
I had a pupil once who done a brilliant drive. I think he didn't even get a minor during the drive, and he was struggling to park at the end. He gave himself a bad start position, and quite often, by the time he had spent as much time as he had done, the examiner would have gone, that would do there, but the examiner was quiet. The examiner was waiting because he knew he passed the driving test so far, so he wanted to give him a little bit longer to see if he could get it in. And he did, and he got it in. He got a minor for the parking, but he still passed with one minor, even though if you looked at him parking, you think, what's he doing there? Why is he taking so many attempts? It's because the examiners want you, they want to make sure they're passing people who are safe. He demonstrated a safe drive. He went into the car park, started in a very awkward position. He was safely doing the manoeuvre, but because he started in an awkward position, it made it hard for him to get in. So the examiner waited for him there. So they are flexible in that. Likewise, if you've done a very bad drive and you've clearly already failed, they're more likely to give you less time because they're trying to keep time as well. They've got 57 minutes from start a test to start a next one, and they're thinking about getting to the next test. There's no point waiting ages if it's not going to help you. But that is my experience. That bit's not really written down anywhere. I've not seen it written down anywhere. And that's all I've got to say, really. You can do it. Trust yourself.
Okay.
Are you going to pass?
Yes.
Okay. Is it 100%?
Well, no, but it's pretty high, I think.
Yeah. And if you don't pass?
It doesn't matter. You can get another one.
So don't worry about it.
Okay.
Right, time to do your real test then.
I'm ready.
Well, that was a difficult test, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I was thinking that this examiner wanted you to fail because you're doing all the hard junctions. I was getting a little bit worried for you actually, and you're following the signs, and some of these signs weren't very clear, especially one on the mini roundabout where he said go towards all other routes.
Yeah.
Other routes actually, wasn't it? Not all other routes. I can't remember anyway. As you were going towards the roundabout, there was no sign at all.
Not until you got there.
And at the roundabout, then you could see the other side of the mini roundabout. Left was other routes and right was King Edward Quay, I think. And then you followed the signs all around, basically the most challenging roundabouts in Colchester, all the way around it. But this is a pass certificate. I don't want to give away details here. There you go. You may want to try and
Thank you.
not show the details. You never know. You passed.
I did it.
How did you feel?
Well, I felt it went pretty well. I was a little bit nervous at the start, and then I got more comfortable. And I was a bit worried that the instructor was going to be a bit harsh, but he got more relaxed as we went through, and then I passed. So
2 minors.
yep.
One was for stopping, partially blocking a driveway. So you pulled over at the side of the road and you didn't quite go far enough forward, and the bum of the car essentially was hanging over the driveway. That's why I think he marked the position normal stop. From my perspective, that's the only place I think you could have marked that, although it is hard sitting in the back for me to judge how far you are from the curb, because you could have stopped too far from the curb and that would have also been that mark. But from my perspective, that was the most obvious reason to mark that. And also the most typical driving fault, observations at junctions. So at a roundabout, you did pull out in front of a car, nowhere near enough to be as serious. But if they wanted to have changed to the left lane, you would have made them slow down, because there was a roundabout with 2 lanes. Sarah was entering the left lane. There was a car coming around in the right lane. And as she pulled out, if that car in the right lane wanted to move to the left lane, they would have had to slow down, but they didn't, because they stayed in the right lane. You should consider all lanes of traffic coming around the roundabout, because as you know, when you're on a roundabout, you start in the right and you usually make your way left to leave. So just because someone's in the right lane doesn't mean you should pull out alongside them. Okay. But that was very minor. I was watching that. I was a little bit worried about that, but you certainly wouldn't have made them brake hard. You'd have inconvenienced them slightly. Any questions?
No, I don't think so.
But well done. That was a difficult test. I was a little bit nervous for you, if I'm honest, because I was thinking this is not easy. You did reverse on the right, but you did it well. The curb was broken. It wasn't a nice long stretch of curb. All the curbstones were sticking out in different places, and it was just before a bend as well, which made it a bit harder. You didn't do the emergency stop though, and that's because it was through the busiest parts of Colchester where you're not going to do the emergency stop. So well done.
Thank you.
Was the advice about understanding if you fail you can do it again, did that ease any pressure?
It definitely did. I was worried about failing, but then I realised I managed to find a cancellation this quick. I can do it again.
Yeah. So try to accept that if you fail, you can do it again. That takes away a big amount of pressure. And I think that's one of the main sources of pressure when it comes to doing the driving test, is worrying about failing. There is something you can't change, and that is if you want to pass first time and you're worried about, oh no, I don't want to be second or third. My friend was first, I've got to be first. And there's no real way to get around that pressure unless you just decide, oh, it doesn't matter if I don't pass first time. But pressure doesn't usually help people drive well in any circumstance. And that's something you have to learn when you're learning to drive. It's not just about the pressure of the test, but also when you're driving, other drivers will pressure you. Other drivers will bully you.
Okay.
I see it. I see it all the time. A driver driving in a manner which is intimidating and trying to get people to do what they want to do. And that actually happened on your driving test a little bit, didn't it?
It did, yeah.
We're at some temporary traffic lights in a queue, and the car to our right going the other way couldn't go round a parked car because, well, we're in this queue and they wanted you to move forwards up to the car in front so they could squeeze behind you.
Yeah.
But you're already quite close to that car in front. If you were to get any closer, you would have got a mark for following distance. But you thought, well, no, I'm as close as I should get to this car. You never know, the car in front might roll back, so you don't want to go super close to them. And even though the driver was looking at you, making you feel like you need to try and move out the way somehow, you stood your ground and said, no, I'll wait until the lights go green. So well done on you for doing that. And continue to do that through your driving. Make your own decisions. It's your responsibility. Now it's nothing to do with me anymore. I've helped you as best I can. You're going to go out there now and make your own decisions. Okay. And my best advice is don't be pressured, do things in your own time, because you will be pressured for the rest of your life. You will feel the pressure. That will never go away, but what will change, what can change, should I say, not what will change, what can change is how you let that pressure affect you, and how good you are at dealing with that pressure. It can be water off a duck's back, or it can lead you into a collision or a fine or something.
Okay.
So that's the end. That's the end of Sarah's lessons. She's passed her driving test. If you found the video interesting, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're looking for car insurance, check out the links to Collingwood and Confused in the description. If you're learning to drive and want to insure yourself on somebody else's car, then Collingwood are there for you, because you can do so without affecting the owner's policy, and that takes away a big stress from the owner of that car that you're using to practice your driving in. Via the link at the moment, there's up to 35% off and a £20 gift card. If you want to insure your own car, I recommend checking out the link to confused.com, because you fill out one quote form and get loads of quotes back from many insurers to compare who's cheapest, and you can change your car on that quote as many times as you like without having to do the whole quote again. You just change the car and recalculate, so it's a quick and easy way to compare how much it costs to insure different cars. You've got a Micro, haven't you, for your first car? No, Yaris, sorry. Why did I say Micro? I know it was a Yaris. From your friend, was it?
Yeah.
You looking forward to driving that?
I am.
Have you compared insurance?
Well, I had provisional insurance. So
You got some money.
I need to do real insurance now.
Price will go up, won't it?
Yeah.
Well, good luck with that one. Where was I with my little ending there? I can't remember. Using the links doesn't cost you anything, but it does support the channel, so thank you very much. Subscribe to get my future videos, and until the next one, cheerio.